What is going on, everybody? It's the France, and we're here for a Money in the Bank review. And as all show, I just got done watching Money in the Bank, and what is the one thing I talked about on the preview predictions when it came to the men and the women? I gave my predictions, and I gave solid reasons why they should win it. I also gave reasons to why everyone else would not win it. Charlotte wasn't going to win it because she's going to have breast implant surgery, so they don't want to give it to her. Braun Strowman didn't need it because it doesn't fit his character. I figured Samoa Joe and Natty were going to win these two briefcases, because one, Natty would turn on Ronda Rousey and screw her over and win the women's title, stealing that away from her. And two, Samoa Joe would win just to, make his declaration that I'm coming for the title at SummerSlam. And neither one of those two won. Braun Strowman won the men's, and I honestly don't know why, unless they're going to do with him that I suggested with Samoa Joe, where he is going to give us Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman by declaring his match at SummerSlam. If he does that, then I'm fine with it. Then we have the women's Money in the Bank, which what I pitched was Nia Jackson and Ronda Rousey having their match. Natty won the Money in the Bank, so in my pitching, that she would win the Money in the Bank, and later during that match, she would either somehow do an Seth Rollins or something, or whatever she would do, and she would screw Ronda Rousey out of the title and take the title for herself. Did we get either one of those options? No. What did we get? We got Alexa Bliss winning the title, winning the Money in the Bank, then doing what everybody with a brain set would probably pitch, and she went out there and she cashed in 2 nights, and Alexa Bliss is again your women's champion. So basically, what is going to be different this time around? Alexa Bliss's last title reign, she is a 5-time women's champion, 2 for SmackDown, 3 for Raw, and her last title reign, she had the title from, I believe, about SummerSlam, or right before SummerSlam, or at SummerSlam, all the way up until WrestleMania. And how many times did she defend her title? The Raw exclusive pay-per-view TLC, and the Elimination Chamber, and WrestleMania. Am I right? Yeah. 3 title defenses. 3 title defenses and awful mic work. She is overrated. She sucks in the ring. She's not even good on the mic. She's average to terrible on the mic, and yet she's the Raw Women's Champion again. So instead of going with Natalya winning becoming Miss Money in the Bank, what they did with Alexa Bliss tonight, they should have did with with Natalya. Have her win, go into the Women's Money in the Bank match, hit Ronda Rousey in the back, hit Nia Jax a couple times, beat both of them down, get rid of Ronda Rousey, and to add insult to injury, because at the end of the match, Ronda Rousey had the armbar, or was getting close to getting the armbar onto Nia Jax, and that arm was compromised. So to add insult to injury, you could have had Natalya, instead of using the sharpshooter, lock on the armbar, make Nia Jax tap out because her arm is messed up, and she won with Ronda Rousey's move. And then the next night, you build towards SummerSlam. But did WWE do that? Fuck no. What do we get? We get Alexa Bliss in a 5th title reign, where she is going to suck ass like she has before, and just make Monday Night Raw's women's division that much worse. Then we go to SmackDown Live's women's division, and it just got worse. It's bad enough Carmella is your women's champion. It's bad enough that they treated Asuka like shit since WrestleMania. You have Asuka in this match with Carmella. Terrible fucking match. Asuka had to dumb herself down to try and get Carmella over. Carmella needs to stop screaming like she's being fucked in the ass for the first time. She gets a pinfall 1-2, they kick out, and she screams like she's been being fucked in the ass in front of a camera. It is awful. It is awful. Needs to stop. So we get to the end of the match, and Asuka looks like she's zeroing in on a win when a figure walks up dressed in a jacket like Asuka's and an Asuka mask, head completely covered. Fans already know who it is. You can hear them chanting Ellsworth, Ellsworth, Ellsworth. Rips the mask off. It's James Ellsworth. Kick to Asuka's head, and 1, 2, 3. Carmella is the first person to pin Asuka. So you went from Asuka being the dominant female of the women's division on Raw and in NXT to losing that submission at WrestleMania, having her first SmackDown match be a loss because Becky Lynch got pinned, to having Carmella pin her because of James Ellsworth. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This company is pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. Both women's matches were garbage. The Money in the Bank matches were both great, but the finishes made no sense. The WWE Championship match was the first time Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles felt like they should have all along. This is the match we should have had, of course, minus all the low blows and everything. But this was the type of match we should have had at WrestleMania and at Backlash, but we didn't get it till now. So it took 5 matches and 2 no decisions. They both won once before. I saw someone, I think it was JD from New York or someone else, say that this is the first Nakamura Styles match with a clear victory. When clearly that's not the case, but it's the first on pay-per-view since WrestleMania where Styles won the 2 non-finishes at Greatest Royal Rumble and Backlash. Then, of course, we had the match at SmackDown that decided the stipulation to this match, and then tonight, which ends the feud. The feud is over. Shinsuke Nakamura is not the WWE champion, even though betting odds had him being the WWE champion after tonight. Did not happen unless the betting odds changed towards the end of the show, as the show went on. But AJ Styles won, and he can move on with no Money in the Bank to worry about. What's gonna happen with Shinsuke Nakamura? More on that later. Let me think here. There was no Raw Tag Team Championship match. I didn't think there was going to be, even though I believe Brian Zane put it in his predictions for Money in the Bank that this match was going to happen. But it was not ever advertised, so there was none of that. Let me see here. We had a good bit of it was a mixed bag of show. Daniel Bryan versus Big Cass redeemed themselves for sure. The match at Money in the Bank at Backlash was piss poor awful. Tonight, Daniel Bryan made Big Cass look like $1,000,000. And that feud is over, by the way. That feud is over because Daniel Bryan won with a heel hook. He won with a heel hook and made Big Cass tap out. And he put that heel hook on with authority. Great match right there. They had a great match. We'll get to Roman and Jinder Mahal later because that match isn't worth talking about. It's just everything else that happened around that match. Let's see here. We have Seth Rollins versus Elias. Damn good match. Seth Rollins, AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Daniel Bryan all tonight showed why they are the four of the best guys on the Raw and SmackDown roster today. Plain and simple. The single matches between the championship matches that were Elias and Seth Rollins and Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan versus Big Cass showed how good these 4 guys are. Now, Elias is no slouch either. He put on a hell of a performance too, but Seth Rollins was just that much better, and Big Cass, again, looks like $1,000,000 because who he's in the ring with. Big Cass is not worth anything still in my book. Let me see here. I believe that's all the matches I went over to. Oh, I'm not going to talk about Sami Zayn versus Bobby Lashley was a 6-minute match that did not need to be on there. Wasn't even qualified for superstars. That match sucked. I feel bad for Sami Zayn because he had to put himself through that match, but it just wasn't worth watching. Roman versus Jinder. I'm going to go through the matches as they go, but Roman versus Jinder. This match is not even worth talking about either. It ended with a predictable finish. Roman in the corner goes, and then gets kicked in the face. Sunil Singh, after getting slapped like Superman punched and speared last week on Monday Night Raw in a 2-second match, comes out in a wheelchair. Anybody who's been watching wrestling for at least 20 years or so, like I have, I knew this was set up from the start. Halfway through that match, he gets up and shoves Roman Reigns, and he gets back down and is like, oh, the ref didn't see it, I'm fine. What happened during this match that was more important than that was the fact that the crowd, which you could tell that Kevin Dunn was being commanded, or whoever runs the audio portion, was being commanded to lower the crowd mic. Because as soon as Roman comes out, you hear the boos, but then they just go quiet. Absolutely quiet. Chance, alright, Scarlett, CM Punk, boring, NXT, Rusev Day, this is awful, Johnny Wrestling, asshole, let's go Cena, CM Punk, delete, let's go Beach Balls, a full-blown crowd, there was a full-blown wave from the crowd wave, this match sucks, and this match, Y2J and Velveteen. And this match, and did Vince McMahon expect any difference? I even tweeted Vince McMahon. I'm sure he ain't gonna watch it because he doesn't even actually pay attention to his feed because he has goons who do that for him. But yeah, listen to this stuff real nice and well, Vince, because that's what you're going to get if you put Roman Reigns against Brock Lesnar. With the result of the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, which was all kind of fun tonight. That was a good match. It was, except for the ending. Still, to me, doesn't make any sense. Get to that later. But yeah, Roman Reigns, Jinder Mahal, not worth talking about. You know how the match was going to go. Roman Reigns misses a spear, gets a Superman punch. Opponent misses a clothesline. Roman Reigns bounces off the ring, off the ropes, hits a piss-poor spear. When Goldberg hit the spear, when Rhino hits his gore, there's authority behind it. It looks like when Roman Reigns hits his spear, the person he's going to spear falls backwards and Roman Reigns just lands on top of them. I still want to know, because Goldberg did a spear with a setup move. Who uses a spear other than Roman Reigns right now? Charlotte. Charlotte uses a spear. She hasn't won a match, and her spear looks more devastating than Roman's. Why? Because her opponent is standing stationary, and she runs shoulder first into him. Again, Roman Reigns bounces off the ropes, and Jinder Mahal's falling backwards, and Roman just ducks his head, and like just lands on him. It's not even a spear. It's just pretty much a body splash onto him. It's just fucking pathetic. The spear has never or will ever be a devastating finisher. Not even Edge's. Even though, I guess the gore, which is supposed to be the spear too, it's a nice version of the spear, is the only one that I would say counts because he runs right through them. He doesn't even stop. He just is like he just barrels through and knocks somebody loopy, runs through them. If they were a piece of wood, he would run through them and break them in half. That's why the gore is more devastating than Roman's spear. Roman's spear is trash. Charlotte does a spear. She's never got a 3 count. Doesn't somebody in NXT, I think it's Lacey Evans, uses a spear. Guess what? They don't get a win off of it. Why is Roman's spear? I honestly want somebody who watches WWE and is a fan of WWE justify to me that Roman Reigns' spear is a devastating move, because it's not. It is a piece of shit, and it's trash, and he needs a new finisher. Powerbomb. Sit-out powerbomb would be better. Just saying, because you have to lift somebody up and throw them down. Talking about, speaking of powerbombs, Ronda Rousey takes, I think she takes her first powerbomb ever in her match with Nia Jax. She hit the mat so hard, her head hit the mat. When she got back up, she tried to stand up, and she just dizzied out and fell out of the ring. It looked like she has never taken a powerbomb before. If that was her first powerbomb, that was brutal. Just saying. Let's see. Yeah, so that's the gist of everything that happened. The men's Money in the Bank ladder match was fun, but with Braun Strowman in there, you gotta just imagine and picture what they're going to do with Braun Strowman for 95% of the match, and they pretty much did. Kevin Owens, I hope you're okay, though. We'll talk about that later. The pre-show match was a tag team title match, the Bludgeon Brothers versus Anderson and Gallows. Anderson and Gallows started off good, but then the Bludgeon Brothers take over and dominate for a good bit. Anderson finally tags in Gallows, who takes it to Harper. Magic Killer attempt stopped by Rowan turned it into the Full Nelson Powerbomb for the 3 count, and the Bludgeon Brothers keep the titles. Quick match. Got a little bit it made the Bludgeon Brothers more vulnerable than any match they had before, and I believe Gallows and Anderson lasted longer than the Usos did at the Greatest Royal Rumble. Just saying. Daniel Bryan versus Big Cass. This was a good match. This was a really good match. Better than what they did at Backlash. Of course, all we know, the only good match at Backlash was Seth Rollins versus The Miz. Everything else on that show was trash. This was a really good opener. This was the match I would have started the show off in. Like, if you're not going to start off with the Money in the Bank match, which you don't always have to, this is the match to start the show off. Bryan circles Cass a few times, running and like doing a little jogging around him, and then they lock up. Cass with Bryan in the corner misses a strike, and Bryan with some kicks to Cass's thigh, working on that previously injured knee that comes into play later. Cass misses another one, and more kicks from Bryan. Heel hook block, he goes for it again, and it's blocked again. Kicks to Cass's hamstrings in the corner. Cass tosses Bryan into the corner, who does a Ric Flair. If you don't know what a Ric Flair is, when you get thrown in the corner, you pretty much flip yourself up and over to the apron. Ric Flair would do it all the time. It's called being a Ric Flair. And Cass just shoves Bryan. He goes into the barricade. Cass comes out and picks up and drops Bryan on the apron. Bryan heavy punches by Cass, then an elbow drop to Bryan's back, then another one for a 2 count. More heavy strikes by Cass as the crowd chants on. I think they did some yes chants and everything. The crowd, you gotta just love Chicago, because 95% of this show, they were on fire. They were hot and on fire for the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, the women's until about the end, I believe. It was a great show, and of course the Jinder Mahal match later. Bryan strikes back until he is caught with a bear hug. Bryan fights out while yes chants ring out. Knee to the gut of Bryan. Backflip by Bryan, but gets caught into a black hole slam for a 2 count for Cass. Cass talks some trash to Daniel Bryan. I didn't hear what he said because the crowd was so loud. The crowd was so loud at one time on the pre-show that Booker T was trying to, I think they were talking about the Raw Women's Championship match, and you couldn't hear a single thing he was saying on the network feed because the crowd was so loud. Gotta love Chicago. I wish WWE would be in Chicago a lot more, just because of that natural feeling of being somewhere special. Just a great place. As he talks trash to Bryan as he gets him in the corner, then hits a Stinger Splash, then taunts him with the yes chants. Corey Graves did mention that one of Cass's biggest faults is that he taunts too much. This would come into play here because he's doing the yes chants. Crowd is booing him heavily. Cass tries again with the Stinger Splash, but a drop toe hold by Daniel Bryan into the corner. Side kicks by Bryan again, Dragon Screw off by Bryan, then another one. Daniel Bryan since he started using the Dragon Screw, he puts so much emphasis on that Dragon Screw. It is scary. And when he hits that Dragon Screw, sometimes it really couldn't tell with Cass. I remember when he did it with Jeff Hardy a couple weeks ago. He does that Dragon Screw, and it looks like he's trying to rip the opponent's leg completely out of its socket. It is that devastating. Looks good, but it still is one of those devastating moves. Then he drags Cass to the post while attacking the knee, slams Cass's knee into the ring post a couple times. Then Cass shoots Bryan off of him. Bryan goes up top and hits a drop kick to the back of Cass's head. Cass's knee was pretty much compromised by this time in the match. It's like when Johnny Gargano attacked last night on Tommaso Ciampa's knee. That's what he was trying to do here, even though Big Cass isn't wearing a big, huge, hefty knee brace to have that as a weakness. Running corner drop kicks by Daniel Bryan. The third one was blocked and turned into a yes lock. It was really cool because he was going for another one. Cass picked him up. Looks like he's going for some kind of tilt-a-whirl thing. Bryan's like spinning around and gets him down into a yes lock. It was amazing. But Cass gets to the bottom rope. Cass tries to pull Bryan out, but he shoves him up, and Bryan with a drop kick through the ropes. Then he goes up and hits a crossbody on the Cass on the outside as the crowd chants yes. Bryan goes back up, but Cass in the ring crotches Bryan on the top turnbuckle and more strikes to the head of Bryan. Big Cass sucks chance, which I thought that was funny. Cass gets on the top, looks for a fall-away slam from the turnbuckle. He gets a fall-away slam from the turnbuckle for a 2 count. Cass picks Bryan back up, puts him on the torture rack, but Bryan starts striking the back of Cass's head. It looks like Cass is he was trying to use the torture rack to, make Bryan submit, because apparently on commentary they said that Big Cass went and talked with Drew Gulak to try and get some pointers, which I think that is pretty cool to be able to help Big Cass out. Cass goes for a boot and Bryan moves and he goes half over the ropes, and a chop block by Bryan, who hits another one. Yes, kicks by Bryan now to Cass. Cass goozles Bryan, but Bryan takes out the knee, and Cass kicks a kick to the side of Cass's face. Looking for the running knee, but he is launched, and a big boot by Cass for a 2 count. Cass is frustrating. He's like, how? Why? Just getting really frustrated. Cass sees something that makes him smile. He looked outside of the ring, and he just starts smiling, and I'm like, what is he smiling about? This it felt like he was, when he did that smile, I was like, is he going to go out and grab a weapon or something to distract the referee, get some shenanigans going? But no, he just walks back over to Bryan. He goes for Bryan again, torture rack, but Cass tries to throw him over in some kind of reverse Death Valley driver, but Bryan lands on his feet, hits the running knee, puts him in the heel hook, and Cass, screaming, taps out to Daniel Bryan again. Winner is Daniel Bryan. Where do we go from here? The reason I think Daniel Bryan won this match is simply because I believe WWE is confident that Daniel Bryan is going to re-sign with the company, and they want to get him away from Big Cass. Where does Big Cass go from here? I don't know. Honestly, I just don't know. What can this guy do now? He lost twice to Daniel Bryan. There is no reason for these guys to be feuding anymore. He was wrong. The big man's not always going to beat the little man. He was wrong, and Daniel Bryan made him pay. So what is left for Big Cass to prove against Daniel Bryan? Will there be a match between these two at Extreme Rules? Probably not. I don't think there should be. Sami Zayn versus Bobby Lashley. Yeah, the belt rings and Sami's, and this was just pointless. It absolutely was. That by the end of this thing, and the crowd was doing the Olay chants to Sami Zayn, harking back to his El Generico days. But towards the end of this match, he does put him in a standing vertical suplex, and the crowd is going wild. Then he picks him up, looks like he's going to do the Dominator, but then just cracks his back, and then puts him in another one because the crowd was chanting one more time. They wanted to see the delayed vertical suplex, which, by the way, why the fuck is that his finisher? That is a weak-ass finisher. I know he can't use the spear because that's Daniel Bryan. I mean, that's not Daniel. That's Roman Reigns' finisher. But, oh yeah, by the way, Bobby Lashley's spear, way more devastating than Roman Reigns. He actually looks like he spears somebody instead of, jump up in the air and just land on somebody looking like a spear. Plain and simple. Couple of backcrackers, and Bobby Lashley is your winner. Who else was it going to be? That feud needs to be done. Sami Zayn needs to go get back with Kevin Owens, and they need to run through the tag team division, win the tag team titles, and then eventually have their breakup whenever the hell they want to. Maybe that's what they're doing at SummerSlam. I don't know. Bobby Lashley again wins. Do you really care? Because I know I don't. Yeah. Elias versus Seth Rollins. This was a good match. The bell rings and they take their time. They're just not doing much anyway. They lock up eventually and they go back and forth with holds, many reversals and hammer locks. Shots to the back of Rollins, and Elias stomps all over Seth, who grabs the back of his neck. Seth Rollins' neck did play a big portion to this match. This match was all about Seth Rollins' neck, which of course has been played out being injured since Elias hit him in the back with his guitar about 3 weeks ago. Rollins fires back, then a chop, and then a standing drop kick, sending Elias outside. Then Rollins launches himself over the top rope onto Elias. Chops and right hands on the outside sends Elias back in springboard flying clothesline by Seth Rollins. Which the springboard flying clothesline is something I think he should get rid of because it just looks goofy. He jumps up, springs up, and barely hits him with the clothesline. It's just something goofy that it just looks goofy. Rollins gets some shots into the corner, goes for a kick to the head on the apron, but Elias moves and nails a clothesline, laying out Rollins, who lands neck first on the apron. That looked brutal. Elias just rolls up and hits him, and Seth Rollins, usually they fall to where their back hits the apron, but Seth Rollins, he took the hit and positioned himself so when he fell over, his neck looked like his neck hit the apron. It was brutal looking. Seth Rollins, hell of a champion, hell of a fighter. This guy puts himself through hell for our entertainment. Anyone who says this just fake, go watch him. Now Elias on the attack. Elias targets the neck, dropping Rollins' throat first on the apron, gets a 2 count. Snap DDT by Elias for a 2 count. Knee drop, then a knee drop by Elias for another 2. Elias looking for the Cobra Clutch, and he swings him around. This looked like this could be something dangerous if it's not the right person doing it. He had him in the Cobra Clutch, and he actually swung him around a couple times, trying to, put some pressure on that Cobra Clutch. Suplex by Rollins blocked. I think it was going to be the Falcon Arrow, but that's blocked by Elias with a knee drop missing. Chops by Rollins. He drops Elias face first on the turnbuckle. Now Rollins getting some offense in and then gets the sling blade, then sends Elias over the top rope. Seth runs and hits a suicide dive, barely hitting Elias. Usually when he uses suicide dive, he gets done into the barricade. But to me, it looked like when he did the suicide dive, that Elias moved out of the way and just shoved Seth Rollins into the barricade. I can't really tell because they only had the one angle. If they would have had maybe a top-down angle, which I doubt that they do, a close-up top-down angle would have been able to show that Seth Rollins looked like he went for the suicide dive, and it looked like to me that Elias moved out of the way. Back in, boot to Elias, then a blockbuster for a 2 count. Rollins sent to the apron, goes for the knee, but misses it. Buckles jumping knee to Rollins. Elias gets another 2 count. Electric chair blocked, but Elias rolls up for a 2 count. Now Elias strikes to Rollins, and Rollins shots back. Jumping boot by Elias, which commentary fucked that up because it looked like, because usually he does the jumping knee, but he got his foot out. So Cole was trying to say boot, and Corey Graves was trying to say knee, and I don't care what Coach said because Coach is just ridiculous. Rollins goes up for the frog splash, knees up for a 2 count by Elias. Elias goes up top, but Rollins, I was like, why is he going up top? I've never seen Elias in his entire time on Monday Night Raw try and go up top. We'll find out later. But Rollins stops that, crouching Elias on the top turnbuckle. Rollins goes for the suplex into the Falcon Arrow. Elias shoves him off. Rollins gets up and hits the superplex into the Falcon Arrow for a 2 count. Vince McMahon or whoever books these matches, I don't care if it's for the championship. I don't care if it's a singles match. I want one time in the next 365 days for Seth Rollins to go up, hit the superplex into the Falcon Arrow, 1, 2, 3. It is a move that does not need to be able to pin all the time, but at one time, I want to see. I mean, earlier this year, you had Sami Zayn win with the Blue Thunderbomb for the first time in his career. Can we please get the superplex into the Falcon Arrow to be one of those moves that just out of the blue, it scores a pinfall? Not all the time, just this one time. Please. Seth is getting set up for the stomp, but Elias falls out of the way. Rollins' suicide dive gets caught. He gets thrown into the steps. He gets thrown into the barricade, thrown into the post, then thrown into the steps. He gets thrown back into the ring. He steps up. He goes up and over drops for a 2 count, which I've never seen Elias do this. He puts him in the post. He goes up top, hits a diving Macho Man style elbow drop, and gets a 2 count. When was the last time Elias actually used an elbow drop? I've never seen it. Just away gets blocked by Rollins, who grabs the rope, and Elias just wails on Rollins. He sets Rollins up top, 1 chop. The Rollins slides under the ring, goes for the buckle bomb, but his knee gives out. Drift away gets blocked into a roll-up for a 2 count. Rollins rolls through Elias. Elias tries to use the tights. As he's using the tights, Rollins grabs him, pulls him down, rolls through, uses the tights, 1, 2, 3, and Seth Rollins is your winner. I really, really don't like when a babyface uses tights to win a match, especially a championship match. Great match overall, but with these two having that hell of a match, that is, the finish was weak. The finish was absolutely 100% weak. I would have rather seen Seth Rollins and Elias come out there and somebody win with their actual finisher or something like that. I hate, if Elias would have stole the victory, he is a heel, fine, whatever. But Seth Rollins is a babyface. To use that tactic, it just irks me. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought of the finish to Seth Rollins versus Elias. Great match. 2 for 3 on the night so far for WWE in Money in the Bank. By far better than Backlash, but barely. Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Charlotte versus Becky versus Naomi versus Lana versus Sasha Banks versus Alexa Bliss versus Ember Moon and versus Natalya. Alexa Bliss, she is over in Chicago. Alexa Bliss, I don't know what it is. This woman has been a bitch. She's been a heel. She's been a bully. She's been everything in the fucking world. Her music hits and the crowd goes wild. Like, I don't know what it was about Alexa Bliss, but this crowd loved themselves some Alexa Bliss. And this is like me just, I'm not going blow by blow with this one because there's just too much happening in a lot of match. Same thing with the men's. Ember tries to get up on the ladder first, but Naomi's quick to stop that. Littlest ladder first to be used, cliche, ding it up, Kristen Miracle when you do the sins, because they didn't do this in the men's, but smallest ladder in the match is the first ladder to be used, cliche. Ding. Ember Moon fires first. Springboard splash by Ember Moon onto Banks onto a ladder that looked brutal. That was definitely something interesting. They had a ladder set up. She put springboard. Yeah, there was a ladder that was leaning, that was like down, and Ember Moon gets on, like does a springboard off the top rope, smooth like turns back and hits a splash onto Sasha Banks, landing on the ladder. Definitely looked like that hurt like a bunch. Lana then hits an X Factor, which Tom Phillips finally caught at that. For fuck's sake. When she beats Billie Kay to enter the fucking match, they didn't even call it that. But here, she actually gets the move. They actually call the move right. X Factor by Lana onto the side of a ladder that was laying down on the mat. Natty hits a scoop slam onto Lana then, onto a ladder. The ladder's being used a lot early on. Then drops the Naomi tail. Oh my god, this hurt. You know how Natalya does her little drop down where they're like landing split-legged and then she does a run over? Yeah, well, she did that, but this time she had Naomi sitting on the ladder. So Naomi was dropped on her tailbone. Then Natty decides to bounce off the ropes and do the run over, like step over into the drop kick onto Naomi, who's sitting split-legged on the ladder. Brutal looking spot. Crowd chants for Becky as her and Charlotte fight for the ladder, which this was typical Becky and Charlotte. They grab the ladder and like, let go of it, instead of one shoving the other one in the quarter like you would see later on in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. We'll talk about that later. Then Naomi springboards off of it onto Natty, who happens to be getting back up, and then she drop kicks it, and both Becky and Charlotte go flying. Moon and Naomi fight over the ladder. Lynch tries to climb it. So, like, you know, Kofi Kingston would do a couple times, like, did a Money in the Bank ago where two people are fighting for it, the ladder's up a little bit, and Ember Moon jumps up and tries to climb up to get it. And then she's dropped into the corner. This had to hurt. Dropped into the corner, she falls down, she's in a seated position, the ladder falls on top of her, right on her freaking head. That had to hurt. Then Naomi and Lynch hit her with the stereo drop kicks at the same time. Crazy freaking spot. Ladder in the corner, and Moon flips Naomi onto the ladder. Banks stacks Lana and Naomi onto a ladder that is sitting in the littlest ladder that was used earlier. Somehow got wedged in between the middle and bottom rope. So what does Sasha Banks do? She puts Lana and Naomi stacked on top of each other and does her double knees. Ouch. I think Lana was on the bottom. So she got the worst of it. Whoever's on the bottom of the stack got the worst of it. Banks says that the ladder goes up, crowd boos. For some reason, the crowd was over for a lot of these women were over. But when Sasha Banks, I noticed this, when Sasha Banks went up, the crowd started to boo, which was weird. Charlotte pulls her down, those two go back and forth. They try to get up the same side of the ladder, which was weird. Both women go face first into the ladder, falling off. Banks hits a meteor off the top of the ladder when she's trying to get back up. I believe it was Natalya and Naomi she hit the meteor, which is her running double knees onto both women. Bliss, Lynch goes back up, but Bliss pulls her off and slaps her hard in the face. Banks pulls Bliss down now. Her and Bliss both go up. Lynch pulls Bliss off, and she and Banks fight on the ladder. Lana sets up another ladder, a taller ladder, and Lana climbs that. Moon climbs the other one. Everyone is fighting on these two ladders except for like two women. Natty powerbombs Banks. Ooh, this was brutal. Natty has Sasha Banks in a powerbomb position. Powerbombs her, bounces off of the ropes, turns around and powerbombs her onto the ladder standing. Brutal looking spot. then she takes Ember Moon and powerbombs her onto a ladder that was set up in the corner. Charlotte takes down Lana, then Charlotte tries to take down Bliss, but code red by Bliss. Lana looks to climb up, but Bliss shoves her. Then Lana shoves Bliss, saying, "This is mine." They started both yelling back and forth, "This is my day," or "This is mine." Bliss slaps Lana and says, "I don't care what day it is, this is my briefcase." Getting a little personal here, ladies. Then an accolade to Bliss. Yes, there was a Lana accolade onto Alexa Bliss. She even did Lana Crush. Lana climbs up, and Naomi springs up and kicks off Lana. Naomi almost has it, but Lynch pulls her down. Lynch tries, and she moves the ladder over and climbs up. Charlotte gets up, and they stare and start trading blows. Bliss shoves them both off, but she eats a spear. Oh, goodness. Lana was still hurt. There was still a ladder propped in the corner. Charlotte spears Alexa Bliss onto the ladder. Ouch. She climbs up and banks back, stabbers Naomi. Back in, shoves her into the ladder. Lana back in, dropping Naomi. Lana climbs Natty with an electric chair. Climbs Natty with the electric chair, dropping Lana. Moon with a super kick. She climbs Charlotte. Charlotte stops her. Spear onto the ladder. One. Then she goes to hit another spear onto Becky, but Becky blocks that and hits a Beck-sploder. I thought she was going to, Beck-sploder onto the ladder, but for whatever reason, Becky decided to move away from the ladder and hit the Beck-sploder. Well, it was her friend, so I guess you don't want to really hurt them. Interesting. Lynch dropped, Lana drops Lynch into another ladder, and Bliss is, Lynch is going up. It looks like the same thing was going to happen, it was going to be different than it was last year, where she was seconds away in both of the ladder matches from winning. James Ellsworth helped the first time, and he did technically help the second time, but she came ever so close. She was climbing the ladder. She was up there. Alexa Bliss stops her into another, and then she tosses her into another ladder, and Alexa Bliss wins. Why did Alexa Bliss win this match? I have no unearthly idea. There is absolutely no fucking reason. I know why she won it towards the end of the night, but still, there's no reason she should have won this match. She is old news. She's overrated. Again, she sucks in the ring. Again, she sucks on the fucking mic. She has not improved. She has regressed. She has become complacent. She doesn't give a fuck. She just goes out there because she knows that somebody in the back wants to just look at her fucking ass and suck on her titties if they could. Alexa Bliss should not have won this match. Then to go on what they did with Alexa Bliss should have been Natalya. So someone in the back was like, we're going to have Alexa Bliss win this, and everything we had for Natalya we're going to do with Bliss. And make no fucking sense about it. No fucking sense at all. But Alexa Bliss wants Money in the Bank. In the back, Kurt Angle's excited for Bliss winning. In comes Constable Corbin, who pretty much makes the threat that if a man from Monday Night Raw does not win the men's Money in the Bank, it's Kurt Angle's fault. I was so hoping somebody from SmackDown Live would have won the men's Money in the Bank in the main event, which it main evented like it should have, even though the AJ Styles vs. Shinsuke Nakamura match was worthy of the main event too. I would have just sat here and probably lost my mind tomorrow if we see Stephanie McMahon tomorrow. You're gonna hear it because it's bullshit if she shows up for no fucking unearthly reason. She needs to stay away. Let her contract as an on-screen performer go away and never come back. Stay off screen. You're not welcomed. Roman vs. Jinder was in on a wheelchair. Who gives a shit? Again, I already talked about this. The fans didn't care about it. Crowd volume muted multiple times during this match. Vince can't take the harsh truth that nobody gives a fuck about Roman. Vince, I hope you are listening in gorilla position. Nobody gives a fuck about Roman. Roman will never be over. And by the end of this match, there was nobody cheering, there were boos. And again, if you did not hear the chants earlier, CM Punk, boring, NXT, Rusev Day, this is awful, Johnny Wrestling, asshole, let's go Cena, CM Punk, delete, 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 let's go Beach Balls, this match sucks, end this match, Velveteen and Y2J, that's 9, and there was a full wave by the crowd. So, what else is it going to take for Vince McMahon to be like, well, Roman's not over, we're going to have to try something else? If this doesn't show him, I don't know what is. Roman Reigns vs. Jinder Mahal was an awful match. Roman Reigns vs. Jinder Mahal should never happen again. Not on Monday Night Raw, not on SmackDown, not on Money in the Bank, not at SummerSlam, not at Extreme Rules, not even on Superstars, not even in NXT. Nowhere. This match should never happen again. Period. Roman needs to be taken off TV for, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 months, and then come back as a heel. Then maybe you could do something. Having Roman Reigns in a match every single week, or having him on TV every single month, every single day of Monday Night Raw is enough. Take him off TV and give him a 3-month vacation. Have him go do something else. Have him go find an identity. Roman Reigns is still stuck in the past as a member of the Shield. Enough of it. Enough of it. Now, Carmella versus Asuka. What the fuck were they thinking? How pathetic is WWE? They took all last year from TLC to WrestleMania. Asuka was untouchable. She beat everybody. She took everybody out. Even Nia Jax couldn't beat her. Alexa Bliss couldn't beat her. Mickie James, Sasha Banks, Bayley, who all gave her great matches, could not beat her. Then she goes to WrestleMania, loses in one of the most piss-poor ways I think I have ever seen, tapping out to a figure 8 that wasn't even 100% locked in because of the compromised arm, which played no factor into the end of the match. Yeah, that made sense. To having a chinless goon who the reason anybody who doesn't know why James Ellsworth was released last year. Why was he released? Why was he done? Why did WWE not keep him on SmackDown Live? Because Vince McMahon himself, even James Ellsworth has said this, or somebody creative when he got the call said, they have nothing for you. Your character has run its course. So why is James Ellsworth, just like he was last year, back on SmackDown Live, helping Carmella, who, by the way, fired him, slapped him, made him wear a dog collar? Why would you help her win a match? And it makes Carmella look like shit, too. She couldn't even fucking touch Asuka. Asuka made her look like shit. She couldn't touch Asuka. Asuka was the better woman, and then you're going to have Asuka, who until tonight was never pinned. Yes, she submitted at WrestleMania, but she was never pinned. And you give her first pinfall loss to a piece of shit, an Enzo Amore-like woman in Carmella, who, by the way, that onesie or fucking ring attire she wears looks like shit. She looks like a fucking New Year's baby who was shit on and everything. She looks like shit. Carmella is not a really good-looking woman either anyway. She's not. But that's just my taste. If you like what she looks, then fine, whatever. But she's not a good wrestler. Her mic skills are terrible. Her laugh is fucking ridiculous. It's just as bad as the Seth Rollins laugh back when he was a heel, and that was awful. Should have never happened. And the sooner they can get this title off of her, the better. If we do not have Asuka with the SmackDown Women's Championship going into SummerSlam to take on Charlotte at SummerSlam and a rematch of WrestleMania, you are fucking out of your goddamn mind. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Fucking pathetic. That entire shit show was pathetic. Ellsworth, Asuka comes. This is what made no fucking sense to me. Ellsworth comes up dressed in an Asuka jacket. You couldn't see what he was. He was wearing a coat that looked something like Asuka, hood over his head, Asuka mask on. He's standing on the ring apron. Asuka, who was in the middle of coming close to winning the title, just looks shocked and scared, and I don't know what the fuck. Like, turning his head left and right. You know how somebody who's creepy would do when they're, like, stalking somebody. He pulls the mask off. Carmella would play it where she didn't know what the fuck was going on either. She was just sitting there, like on the mat, like, scared as fuck. He pulls the mask off. Asuka is still bewildered. What the fuck's going on? Kick to the side of the head. 1, 2, 3, and your winner is Carmella. Absolutely pathetic, and it sickens me. Sickens me to see women's wrestling being being drugged through the mud with Carmella and Alexa Bliss as your women's champions. Fucking pathetic. Vince McMahon, you should be ashamed of your fucking self. Look at Triple H down in NXT. Look at them. Even though Nikki Cross versus versus Shayna Baszler was not the best women's match of the year or of the century, that match was better than both women's matches tonight. That was good storytelling. You have a real bully who is bullying people and just using her mind. And then this crazy psychopathic woman named Nikki Cross comes in and you can't scare her, you can't intimidate her, you can beat the living fuck out of her, she just has a creepy ass smile on her face. Then we get to this, and we get this shit. Carmella can't win on her own against Asuka, but yet she beat Charlotte Flair at Backlash by herself in a piss-poor ending. This match, I guarantee you will get a half star from Dave Meltzer, because this match was terrible. The finish was shitty, and the fucking concept of it sucked. Asuka went from being something special. Vince McMahon loves to kill anything that's special unless it's Roman fucking Reigns. I guarantee you, if Roman Reigns was as over as all these other people in this company, Vince McMahon would be shooting his load everywhere. But no, Asuka, something special, undefeated, hasn't been pinned, hasn't submitted, hasn't lost a match in 500 and some days. Let's kill that at WrestleMania. Oh, she hasn't been pinned. We had Charlotte make her tap out. Let's kill that too by having Carmella pin her. With the help of a fucking loser who should be nowhere near Money in the Bank. He was supposed to be in China. But someone in Vince McMahon's mind was like, damn it, I don't want Asuka to have the championship. Damn it, she doesn't need a championship. Give me a break. Asuka should have won tonight and taken that title into SummerSlam and to wherever. But no, that's what we get. A piece of shit ending for a piece of shit woman with the help of a piece of shit guy. Plain and simple. SmackDown got a lot worse tonight. Plain and simple. If you don't like it, fuck off. Just when we thought things could get worse, it got to AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura, the match of the night. A lot of matches aside, this was the match of the night. Every other singles match could not compare to this match. AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, crowd. Be damned, those lyrics would still sang to Shinsuke Nakamura's theme. They're like, fuck these damn lyrics, we're gonna sing still because we can. So, good on you. Fuck those, it's like, oh, you added lyrics? Well, fuck that, we're still gonna sing, so that was funny. They sang more for him than they did Bobby Roode, even though when they panned over for Bobby Roode later, you could still see people singing Glorious. Dueling chants from the crowd, back and forth between these two. Dropkick by Styles, then a couple chops, and ramming Nakamura into the top turnbuckle. Styles all over Nakamura from the start. Backbreaker by Styles, Nakamura up at 2. Suplex blocked by Nakamura, but hip attack by Styles put Nakamura with a shot to Styles' jaw. Styles uses his legs to send Nakamura over the top rope. Then a phenomenal forearm to the outside of the ring. Nakamura is up at 5. Nakamura into the barricade with Styles, then a scoop suplex onto the steel ramp, which that had to fucking hurt. He didn't hit the mat, like, you know where they have that LED lamp and then they have that metal piece before you get to the padding. Now AJ Styles' back hit that metal piece. That you could hear his back just crack a little bit. Nakamura is then put into the barricade a couple times by Styles, then a scoop suplex onto the steel ramp by Nakamura. Styles up at 6. Running knee by Styles set up on the apron, then a running knee jumping stomp on the back of Styles' neck. Styles is back up at 5. Back in the ring, kick to Styles' gut in the corner. One thing one negative, if there is any negative to this match, and I'll say it right now, I miss last man standing matches that went up to went everywhere. They went around the ringside area. They went to the little portion of the crowd like you would have in an old WWE game where you would just storm into the crowd and you can be in this fight in this little area. That's all they went. I mean, last night for talking for Gargano and Ciampa in a street fight, we had them going a good bit of places. I miss when you could actually see these guys going up going back behind Gorilla, into the production area, into the locker rooms. This is a last man standing match, but all they do is they stay right here, and it's just like, oh, why can't they just push it a little bit further? You're still going to get the same result, but why does it have to stay in the ringside area? You can go anywhere. Almost irks me that WWE does that now. Jumping knee to the collarbone to Styles. Nakamura with a stiff kick to Styles' chest and another gut kick. Then they kick to Styles' chest, like Daniel Bryan's yes kicks, only he hit him in the chest while he was standing up, and Styles gets up at 5. Nakamura with boots to Styles' neck with a corner in the corner before he does some bad vibrations. Then Styles, while he was doing bad vibrations, and before he stopped, he said, I'm going to do some more. But Styles just gets up and pulls his leg up with him and gets Nakamura off, but a spin kick by Nakamura. Styles gets up at 5. AJ on the top turnbuckle, Nakamura with the running knee, sending Styles to the outside. He's up at 5 again. They got up at 5 a lot during the mid portion of this match. Shot by Styles, but Nakamura is enraged, bounces Styles off the stairs. Nakamura puts Styles' head on the steps and starts doing bad vibrations on the steel steps. He took AJ Styles, had his feet standing up, and just bent him backwards so his knees were down, and he just did some bad vibrations, threw him into the crowd area. Styles ducks the forearms, shots to Nakamura. Styles with some kicks to Nakamura's chest like he did before. Styles looks for a springboard phenomenal forearm off of the barricade as he threw Nakamura back into the ringside area, and Styles gets his leg kicked out from him and he just falls flat on his face. Definitely not pretty. Nakamura kicks his leg out and he falls to the padding up, and Styles is up at 5. Nakamura just bounces him again on the steps, which he tore the top set off, so they were just using the bottom set, which I'm really surprised. Honestly, I think, and the reason I thought, at this time when this match is going on, I'm like, they're going to have a fuck finish because this is a last man standing match, and these guys, up until this point, have not used a chair, have not used a kendo stick, have not used a table, have not used any weapons. Usually in a last man standing match, you see people going under the ropes, under the ring, grabbing chairs and everything. It's like, wow, they didn't use much of any weapons tonight, so I was like, this is going to probably end in a fuck finish, and then we're going to get some kind of Extreme Rules match at Extreme Rules where they're going to use weapons galore. Back in the ring, Nakamura is just toying with Styles with shots to Nakamura's reverse exploder blocked and a kick to Nakamura's head. Off the top comes Nakamura, but Styles with a drop kick to Nakamura. Ref counts both men up at 8. Styles with his combo blitz, which he said the Styles blitz combo, which I believe is what Corey Graves called it. Splash in the corner. Face plant by Styles. Both men are down. Styles up at 6, and so is Nakamura. He was close to getting up at 7. Nakamura goes for the low blow. He actually slides in, goes for the low blow, but Styles slides back before he can hit it. And the look on the begging, oh, please don't. The look of beg on Nakamura's face was classic. He just had that with his facial structure as being an Asian. He was just the way it looked, and he just looked like he was so full of fear. He was baiting, of course, but it just looked so good. He was able to have those facial expressions for this. Pele kick barely touches Nakamura. I had no fucking idea what was going on here. It looked like Nakamura fell down, and Styles went for the Pele kick, and he barely hit him with the Pele kick. Forearm misses, reverse exploder. Kinshasa turned into a running forearm. Both men up at 7. Fireman's neckbreaker onto Nakamura. Nakamura's up at 8. Styles sent over the top rope. Goes for the phenomenal forearm again, but gets kicked out of the air. Both men are on the outside at 2 because both men were down. They were just at the ropes and they slided out. Styles was sent into the timekeeper's area. Nakamura goes for the German announce table. Looks for a suplex on the table. He has him on the little padding part there that separates the ringside area from the timekeeper's area, and just pulls him up and just throws him over really quick. So I don't think it was going to be enough to break that announce table. Nakamura takes the top of the U.S. and the Spanish announce tables, pull them off, and you're like, what's he going to do now? He gets up, runs from the German announce table over to the Spanish announce, from the Spanish announce table to the German announce table, hits a Kinshasa, and I'm like, this match is over. Nakamura's going to win, and we're going to have another match between these two for AJ's rematch at Extreme Rules. That did not happen, and again, with these being announce tables, and in any time they could fucking break, Nakamura is really lucky that one of his announce tables did not break on him. Maybe they were reinforced. I don't know. Styles gets up. This is how close this match ended. Styles got up at 9.5. 9.5. If he was down for just if he would have hesitated for a second, Nakamura is your champion. Nakamura back on the attack, and they shot to the ring post. Nakamura sets up. Oh, he goes for the weapons under the ring, and all he does is pull out a table. The crowd goes wild. I honestly want to know this. What is crowd's obsession with tables? Every time there is like a hardcore match or a street fight or something, we had it last night for TakeOver Chicago, they were chanting, "We want tables." Why is it, I mean, the only time I would ever want to do a "We want tables" chant is if the Dudleys were in there or something like that, or somebody who's known for tables. Why is everyone always obsessed with tables? I never understand this. Nakamura does set up the table. He starts to set up the table legs, and Styles, he ends up kicking Styles, and Styles goes face first into one of those table's legs, and I was like, ooh, did he just... Because if Styles does not move his head right, Styles could have probably lost the night tonight by hitting one of those table pieces. Nakamura tries to put it at the table, and then of course one of the legs falls out because no tables don't want to, well, what do you want to say? They don't want to work with you. Nakamura tries to put it at the table, leg falls. Nakamura puts Styles on top turnbuckle. He looks to do a superplex through the table to end the match. Styles slides through, and he looks to do a powerbomb, but Nakamura gets out and drops Styles with first onto the side of the table because the table fell over. Probably didn't feel good. And he sets the table up in the corner. What are you going to do here? You're going to suplex him? No, he just grabs AJ Styles and just tosses him through. He tosses him through viciously, and the table just explodes all around AJ, with the top part being on top of AJ. AJ beats the count at 9 3/4. Which, the way it happened, though, the way he gets up at 9 3/4 is like he's there for the first 8, struggling to move. As soon as he gets to 9, he gets the superhuman strength and just pops back up at 9 3/4. I hate when that happens. It just kills the suspending your disbelief that this guy just got thrown through a table and just suddenly he's popping back up. Always irks me. Nakamura tries to send Styles face first into an exposed turnbuckle, but Styles blocks that. Styles tries to put Nakamura's face into the top turnbuckle, which I don't know when he exposed the turnbuckle, but it must have been after Styles was dropped through the table. And then Nakamura stops that, and a blow to the back of the head of Styles. Goes for the running knee to Styles, but he moves, and Nakamura's knee runs into the exposed turnbuckle. This is the second match of the night where somebody's knee is compromised. I'm sorry, third. Because you had and I didn't mention it, but Seth Rollins, anytime Seth Rollins is in a match, his knee from now on is going to be compromised. They're always going to play up the injury angle of him coming off and buckling his knee a little bit. They did it with Big Cass, they did it with Seth Rollins, even though it didn't play much into the finish, and they did it here. Styles starts kicking the shit out of Nakamura's knee, punishing it like Gargano did to Tommaso Ciampa last night. I hate trying to compare both shows, but it's the closest one I can remember. Now Styles kicks the back of Nakamura's knee, and Styles continues on the knee, and the ref counts. Calf crusher by Styles on Nakamura, trying to wear out that knee so Nakamura can't get up. Nakamura gets up, but Styles back on the attack. Nakamura rolls out of the ring. Styles goes and gets a chair from the ringside and a shot to Nakamura's knee. Yes, folks, that's the only weapons we got for the night was a table and a chair. This is a last man standing match. Where are kendo sticks? Where are fire hydrants? Where are the trash can lids? Yes, I know we saw it all last night in the street fight, but this is a last man standing match. Anything goes. We get a table, we get a chair. Yay. That's like one of my only gripes. Like I said, this match could have main evented this show, but they gave it the Money in the Bank, which is fine. Nakamura starts begging Styles. He's on his knees begging Styles, please don't. And he low blows AJ Styles because AJ Styles didn't wear a cup for whatever fucking reason. That was also another rumor of how this match could have ended, was AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura redo what they did at the last pay-per-view, kick each other in the balls, with AJ Styles at 8 would kip up and reveal that he's winning a cup, which I hope they would have Charlie Caruso or Renee Young ask him after how he was able to withstand that low blow, and then he'd say, yeah, I was winning a cup. I don't want him to actually open his pants and pull a cup out. That's just like on Family Friendly TV. No. Nakamura again to the knee. Nakamura begging for the knee, gets the low blow. Styles up at 9, but Nakamura with the Kinshasa to Styles. Both men get up at 9, I believe. Nakamura limping over to the Spanish announce table. You can definitely tell that not. I like the attention to detail that at this time Shinsuke Nakamura did actually sell the knee by actually trying to get to the Spanish announce table and was limping the entire way. He gets Styles up, but his knee gives in. Styles shows his phenomenal forearm to Nakamura on the steel steps. Styles then grabs him, puts him in the Styles clash, and hits him onto the floor like he did to James Ellsworth last year or in 2017. I think it was 2016 actually, where he took James Ellsworth and hit him with the Styles clash. Nakamura still gets up at 9. Nakamura wants more from AJ Styles, and AJ Styles just says, well, you know what, fuck you, kick to the balls. Oh, I'm a guy, I cringed at that one. It doesn't matter if you haven't felt it before, but when you see another dude get kicked in the balls like that, just like at Backlash, I cringed double time. I was like, ooh, that has to hurt. Styles gets back into the ring, goes and hits the phenomenal forearm through the table of the U.S. announce table. Styles is the last man standing. What a match. Your winner and still WWE Champion, AJ Styles. The first match on pay-per-view since WrestleMania to have a conclusive finish. Where does Nakamura go from here? This is his 5th match, 4th for the title. This is his 6th title match in under a year. 6th title match. And he couldn't get the job done. What did they do with him? I don't know. I would keep him off TV for about a week, like 2 weeks or so. You know, recover from the battle, from the match, and you know, have himself like contemplate what his next move is. AJ Styles, on the other hand, I don't know where they go with him. Maybe I don't want to say they kind of ruined a lot of this stuff because the Miz, because of what happens later, the Miz did not win the Money in the Bank. So I don't know what they do. I don't know where AJ Styles go, who his next opponent is going to be. But this thing with Nakamura is done. Absolutely done. There is no more rematches for Nakamura. The 2 false finishes are done. Everything is done. He is 2-1 over Nakamura. Over with. Move on. Thank you. Thank you. We finally got a match worthy of AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. This was a great match. My only biggest gripe, of course, is, well, 2 biggest gripes. No weapons outside of a steel chair late in the game and a table. And they stayed in the... It's always great for me. They always just stay in the area. I remember back in the early 2000s, if they had a last man standing match or something like that, they would go to the back. They might come back out, but they would actually go and explore the back, beat the hell out of each other over there. Maybe they don't want to expose that Vince McMahon's in there. I don't know, but it just irks me. It's like it's false counts, and it's not false count anywhere. It's even in a false count anywhere, but that's a different story. But it's a last man standing match. It can go anywhere. It can go anywhere in the arena. It could go anywhere in the state if you want it to be. And they just did it again. It stays in the arena, and it's just, why are you going to take a match that could literally go anywhere and just keep it enclosed in this area? It just makes no sense. You have camera crews, you have referees, you have safety people to follow these guys. Let these guys go and explore the arena and have the last man standing match anywhere. I want to see these guys go into the concession area and beat the hell out of each other. Where you guys sell your T-shirts and merchandise and stuff. Have someone go through a table there. Go out into the crowd. Go up into the press box. Just change it up. It was a great match. I'm not going to say, I'm no disrespect to Styles and Nakamura. It's WWE's creativity where they don't allow these guys to go outside of the arena. It just always irks me. Oh, this match, Ronda Rousey versus Nia Jax. Oh my God, my head hurts. The match ended the way it should have ended, but the wrong person had the briefcase. The wrong person had the briefcase. Ronda Rousey wins this match by DQ. She was starting, the entire time she's trying to get the armbar onto Nia Jax, and Nia Jax is fighting it. Well, of course, like I said, in this match, she took a powerbomb. Ronda Rousey took a powerbomb on her first attempt, and it looked like this is probably one of the first powerbombs she has taken, or Nia Jax powerbombed her wrong, because her head hit the mat, and she was definitely dizzy when she got back up, because she got up, and she was like hunched over, and she just like fell out of the ring. Not a pretty sight. Either that was the first powerbomb she ever taken, or Nia Jax was careless in that event. Well, the end of the match came, and when I don't do play-by-play on a match as much as I can, or move by move, blow by blow, I don't care about the match. This match ended with Ronda Rousey coming oh so close to breaking the block of the armbar from Nia Jax. She had her fingertips away from breaking it and putting the armbar on. Alexa Bliss comes in and hits her with the briefcase. She beats her down. She beats down Nia Jax. She goes out and she sends Ronda Rousey. She beats on Ronda Rousey a little bit more and sends her into the announce table. Goes in, she cashes in. I was like, okay, they can make her fail just to end it. No, what happens? She hits a DDT, Twisted Bliss, and Alexa Bliss is a 5-time champion, 3-time Raw, 2-time SmackDown. And the dark ages of the women's wrestling on Raw are still here. Still here. And why I say dark ages is because Alexa Bliss, again, is terrible. She sucks in the ring. She sucks on the mic. She is complacent. She has not improved. And like I said, the last time she was women's champion, she defended the title at TLC, the Elimination Chamber, and WrestleMania. She had a Dean Ambrose U.S. Championship match, a U.S. Champion title reign, and that's not a good thing. Absolutely fucking terrible. Absolutely terrible. But she's the women's champion, so why should we give a fuck? Vince McMahon doesn't fucking care, so why the fuck should we care? I want this shit to get better, and this just went back ages. This just set the women's wrestling back. And it makes no sense. Okay, yeah, you want to fuck over your former best friend, the person that you bullied up to WrestleMania, but why are you going after Ronda Rousey? Do you have a death wish on you? Is she going to beat Alexa Bliss for the title? Really? Instead of doing the right thing and having Natalya win the match, this all would make sense if Natalya had the briefcase. If Natalya had the briefcase, she came in, whacked her her so-called friend in the back, and as I said, would have did everything up until she actually gave the briefcase to the official. If Natalya did everything else, she beat down Nia Jax, she took Ronda Rousey and tossed her into the announce table, which was reconstructed by now. They actually reconstructed the announce table for whatever reason. That's the first time they ever did that. And then she would have cashed in, and instead of winning with the sharpshooter, was like, well, I taught Ronda Rousey everything she knows, so I'm going to put the armbar on. She puts the armbar on and makes Nia Jax tap, adding insult to injury. It would have made perfect sense, but what do? What do? They put it on Alexa Bliss again. Absolutely fucking pathetic. 100% pathetic. Pathetic. I don't even know what to think right now, because this was just the two women's matches were garbage. 100%. And the wrong woman left with the title. It should be Asuka on SmackDown and Natty on Raw, setting up for Asuka, Charlotte 2 at SummerSlam, and Natty versus Ronda at SummerSlam. Those should be your two winning matches, and you're not getting them because WWE are fucking retarded. But there was rumors coming out this week that Vince McMahon doesn't care who has the championship, so why the fuck should we care? Vince McMahon doesn't see any value in the championships anymore because he's making $1 billion from both NBC and Fox, so why should we fucking care? I care, and other podcasters care, because this is what we love to watch. It's just like anytime somebody watches their sports team. Why would they, if somebody is running the sport, is running like the Philadelphia 76ers, if anyone would have came to a Sixers fan during the trust the process time and told them, if you don't like what's going on, don't watch the team, they probably would have got their asses kicked. Because that's what called having passion for this is. I wish I was in the wrestling business because I love this shit. This stuff is always awesome. But to see this shit for both the Raw and SmackDown championships for women is a injustice to the product. You tout this women's evolution, revolution, whatever. But you have both titles on Total Divas. And you have Charlotte, Becky Lynch, Naomi, and Asuka on SmackDown, but yet Carmella's the champion. Unless, and I've heard somebody else say this, I'm not going to name it, but I've heard it said, if you are not the best of your brand, if you're not the best in the business right now, you have no business being the champion. Alexa Bliss is not the best. Carmella is not the best. They are leagues below a Sasha Banks or a Bayley or a Nia, or a Carmella, not a Carmella, or a Charlotte, Becky Lynch, Naomi, Natalya, Ronda Rousey, who is not really the best. I knew that Ronda Rousey wasn't going to go out and win this match, even though it was highly speculated. But you have the wrong person holding the briefcase, the wrong person holding the briefcase, as the match goes to its conclusion and they cash in and win the championship. You did everything right about that cash in except for who held the briefcase. Everything else about that was right. Everything else. But who held the briefcase? Put Natalya in there, it makes sense. Natalya would be a Raw Women's Champion, which means she would be along with Charlotte and Charlotte and Alexa Bliss as the only three women to hold the Raw and SmackDown Championships. But it would make sense. Why? Because who was going for the championship? Ronda Rousey. Natalya, being a 10-plus year vet, could always be played up as that she's sick of hearing about Ronda Rousey. She's sick of hearing about somebody that she trained. She trained Ronda Rousey to be in WWE. She trained Ronda Rousey to get that spotlight. And everything that she's done over the last 10 years, nobody's talking about. Nobody's talking about that when she was women's champion last year. Nobody's talking about how she's been here for so long. She's tired of hearing about Ronda. It should be about Natty. Natty goes out, and she wins the women's championship by stealing it from her so-called friend and training partner. But what do? They do everything right. Everything right. Except for who held the briefcase. You put that on Natty, it makes sense. This made no sense. So, is it going to be Alexa Bliss versus Ronda Rousey at SummerSlam? Why? Or are we going to have Ronda Rousey have her first match on Monday Night Raw be for the Raw Women's Championship, and she's going to win it then? Oh, that will really piss me off, and a bunch of other people too. So we have two lousy women's champions right now, and it just goes to show that the reports of Vince McMahon not caring who has the championship because he doesn't feel value in the championships anymore seems to be being true, because this shit did not make any sense. Speaking of not making any sense, this one shocked me, and we'll talk about it all, but with how the match played out, it's just obvious how this match went. Men's Money in the Bank ladder match was your main event. Braun Strowman versus Finn Balor versus Bobby Roode versus Kevin Owens versus Samoa Joe versus Miz versus Rusev versus Kofi Kingston. If you chose Big E or Xavier Woods, you are wrong. It was funny because it was kind of cool because they had Big E fist bump Xavier Woods, looked like he was going to take his jacket off, his cape off, or whatever the fuck it's called, and get on, but he grabs. But Xavier Woods grabs him, and it's like, no, it's me. Then he gives him Francesca. He goes he rips his shirt off, and it says Kofi on his chest. So Kofi is the one of the New Day. I honestly would have seen I would have rather seen Big E or Xavier Woods to get their time to shine, because Kofi this is his 7th Money in the Bank. His 7th Money in the Bank ladder match. You could have gave the other two a chance, but of course it would have been Big E. I would have rather seen him win, but who won shocked me. I don't think he needs it unless he's going to declare when he's going to have his match, which if he comes back on Monday Night Raw tomorrow night and is like, I'm taking this to SummerSlam and me and Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, he can do that. And you want to know something? Stephanie McMahon, Kurt Angle, and nobody else can do anything about it, because the contract in the thing, even though I don't think there's anything actually in that briefcase, other than Edge opening his to, hit Chris Benoit with a brick, or when Seth Rollins got splatted in the face, or the pancakes this past Tuesday, I don't even think there's actually anything in that briefcase. I think it's just an item. There's never been I've never seen a contract produced out of that case. It's always just there's a contract in there. We're supposed to believe that. I have never seen or ever been shown the paper that says this contract states that you get a championship match anytime, any place, anywhere up to 1 year. And yes, you can declare. Which, if Braun Strowman was to do that, he would be the third guy to declare, right? RVD, John Cena. Yeah, RVD and John Cena, and then of course would be Braun Strowman. Men's Money in the Bank, let's see. Everyone goes after Strowman first. Splash on Rude, and then The Miz in the corner. On Rude and The Miz in the corner by Strowman. Everyone back on Strowman up the ramp. Owens gets slammed onto the ramp. He gets gruesome and choke slammed onto the LED ramp. Did not sound pretty. And then everyone buries Strowman on ladders. Everyone except The Miz. All of a sudden, we look into the ring, and Miz has a ladder, and he's trying to strike, open this thing up and get the thing. And I'm like, whoa, this is gonna be a fast match. All of a sudden, Samoa Joe sees what's going on and stops that. And that's like, wow, that would have been smart. Kofi goes out, but Owens pulls him down and sends him out with a super kick. Owens decides to go up, but Balor stops that. Hands on the briefcase. Balor was so close, but he gets stopped. Balor goes up, and Rude bounces him on the ladder. Rude goes up, and Balor stops him then. Balor super kicked on the announce table, and I thought Owens was going to kill him. He was going to go for a death-defying move here. I didn't notice it until later for some reason, but yes, the U.S. or the English-speaking announce table was reconstructed because they thought they were going to have Owens try and kill Finn Balor. Owens super kicks him onto the announce table, and he looks over, and there's this big ladder, standing up, because they always like to set ladders up for whatever reason, instead of having them all folded down so people can grab them and just put them in the ring. But he drags it over to in front of Finn Balor. He gets to the side on the apron and starts climbing up, but he sees, I believe it was Rusev. Yeah, Rusev. And it looked like he was going to do a frog splash and all that stuff. But then he sees Rusev climb the ladder in the ring, and he decides to stop that, following a slam to a ladder that ended up being set up in the rings in the corner somehow. Because, anything we do in the women's, we got to try and copy some of that for the men. Here's a nice little note to you, and I didn't know this, but I did watch a snippet of the Inside the Ropes with James Ellsworth, and apparently, before the ladder matches, before the show goes on the air, they actually have everybody who's in the ladder match in the ring, but they have a big curtain around the ring, so the agents can go over the match with the participants, but nobody else on the roster can know who's going to win the match. So that's always a nice little thing. Just want to throw that out there. Miz spots Kofi on the top rope, trust fall to everyone, but he is caught. Instead of everyone falling down, they look like they actually catch him this time, and they look like they're about to do something. When Balor does his flip over the top rope, I don't know what that's called. It's Tope Kohile, I think is what they call it. To everyone, he goes to grab a big tall ladder that's on top of Strowman, but that gives Strowman the chance to get up, and he stops Finn Balor from grabbing the ladder, taking the ladder to the ring. So, yeah, Strowman's back up, and he pretty much takes out everybody for a minute. Joe hits a flying forearm to Strowman, kicks to Strowman's jaw, then Owens and Rusev taking on Strowman. Rusev and Owens set up a table in front of a tall, very tall, looks like a 20-foot ladder. Looks to set Strowman up on a table, but he fights back until Joe chokes him out with the coquina clutch. Strowman fights out, he gets, it's funny because he has him in the clutch. He looks like Kevin Owens is like, what are you doing? Get your ass up there. He wants Owens to climb the tall ladder, even though Kevin Owens seems to be afraid of heights a little bit. And he looks like he's about ready to go for a splash off the top. He gets almost up there. Joe and Rusev have Strowman held on this table, but Strowman fights off. Kevin Owens is still on the top of this ladder. This guy, I hope Kevin Owens is okay. But he's trying to climb back down. Strowman gets up the ladder very fucking fast. And he meets Owens halfway, grabs him by the wrist, and just drags him to the top of the rope. Says something to him. I can't hear what he's saying because the crowd is just going ape shit crazy. Ape shit crazy for this. He takes Kevin Owens and just throws him, not knowing like where the camera angle was at, in for a second, not knowing if he's going to land on concrete and be dead or on tables. But good, there was production tables there, and he just tosses him into 2 tables, and he just goes crashing, and Kevin Owens is dead for the rest of this match, I believe. Kofi is then chokeslammed onto a ladder. It looked like he was chokeslammed onto a ladder in a very awkward angle. He then runs through a wooden ladder, which they tried to make. If anyone doesn't know, not all of the ladders for the ladder match are actually steel. There are actually a lot of wooden ladders that are spray painted silver to try and match the steel ladders that they use. They do use steel ladders, but a lot of them are wooden as well. He does just run through a wooden ladder. Miz, who's setting up a ladder, tries to grab the contract. Strowman clubs him down. Joe's then comes back in and hits Strowman with a ladder back into the back and in the chest. Joe sends him flying. Joe climbs up the ladder, but Balor gets to the ladder, and he and Joe fight. Rude sends Balor to the post. Uranagi by Joe to Rude. Rusev throws hands, who then sends Joe out of the ring. Rusev puts the Stackelade on Kofi and Bobby Roode. Miz comes in to try and do the Skull Crusher finale, and he joins the Stackelade for about 2 seconds before Joe hits the cookie, puts him in the Coquina Clutch, and then eats a Machka kick. Rusev climbs the ladder, but Miz pulls the ladder, dropping Rusev. Miz has it, but Kofi stops him. The Miz Miz and him go back and forth on the ladder. Headbutts by Kofi, but Roode pushes the ladder down, knocking both guys off. Balor then climbs the ladder outside the ring, and I don't know what the fuck he was thinking. He had Bobby Roode thrown in the ring. He's on the apron. He has his back. He leans back for a second, and he feels the ladder. He feels this ladder that was set up by Kevin Owens. He decides to back ways, which I would never do this. I've walked backwards a couple times just for the heck of it, just to, what the heck of it, just something fun to do. And I would never climb a ladder with my back to the ladder. Just saying. I'm afraid. I'm terrified of heights. I wouldn't do the ladder. If I was a WWE performer, you would have to pay me to be in a ladder match because I have height problems. I'm terrified of heights. But he climbs to the back of the ladder, gets about all the way up, and hits Bobby Roode with a coup de grace from the ladder on the outside in the ring. Balor gets up in the ladder, but Strowman stops it. Miz power slams Joe. Then the Miz. Oh, I'm sorry. No. Strowman power slams Joe. Then the Miz, he grabs him as he's trying to get the ladder, and he power slams him too. I don't know why I put Miz there. Balor and Strowman both climb. Kofi then hops onto the back of Braun Strowman. It's like, Kofi's trying to win the match, but that would have been very inventive. Balor and Strowman both climb up. Kofi on his back. Strowman then takes out Finn Balor and tosses Kofi off of him, and Braun Strowman is your winner and Mr. Monster in the Bank. Why Braun Strowman won this thing? Only thing I can guess is hopefully he'll come out on Monday, tomorrow, and declare that he is going to challenge Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship at SummerSlam, and we get Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman in the match that everybody would rather see than Roman Reigns. And no, I do not want to hear tomorrow night when Roman Reigns comes out. I do not want to fucking hear. I beat Jinder Mahal, so I'm done with Jinder, so now I'm gonna go for what's mine, the Universal Championship. If any way he says it comes out that he wants the Universal Championship match after beating Jinder fucking Mahal, no, I don't want to hear it. I want Braun Strowman to come out. I don't even care if it's the first thing of the fucking night. Come out and be like, listen, I want my match at SummerSlam. You get a 2-month build. Braun Strowman doesn't have to be at my Extreme Rules. You can have him and Brock Lesnar working. Like you can have like Brock Lesnar and Braun Strowman like hype packages for this match. We're seeing like Brock Lesnar working out, Brock Lesnar doing his exercises and stuff or whatever, his workout to get ready for Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman doing the same thing, like doing tire lifts and everything and all that stuff at the Performance Center, getting this guy ready for Brock Lesnar and Braun Strowman. You could do this over the next 2 months. It's not that hard. Have Braun Strowman come out and be like, listen, I'm not going to keep you guys waiting. This match will happen at SummerSlam between me and Brock Lesnar. And guess who wins the Universal Championship? Braun Strowman. I guarantee you, if we come to Monday Night Raw tomorrow and he declares a match at SummerSlam tomorrow, the crowd will go wild. I guarantee it. Money in the Bank was a very, very mixed bag. You had Styles versus Nakamura, a very great match. A lot of matches were good. 2 finishes that didn't make any sense to me unless Braun Strowman declares who he's going to battle. The Intercontinental title match was good. The Cass and Bryan match was better than Backlash for sure. Bryan made him look like $1 million. And the 2 women matches were just shit. Absolute shit. But that is your Money in the Bank review and results shows. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought of Money in the Bank. Did you enjoy any of the matches? Did you think it was terrible? Did you think it was good? Oh, and I do always put MVPs in multi-man matches. So the MVP of the men's Money in the Bank is Braun Strowman. After all they put him through, he comes out winning. The women's MVP is Ember Moon, because she, I think, put in the most work and put on a hell of a show. So those are my MVPs of those matches. There were no triple threat matches or fatal 4-ways for other pay-per-view matches. But for pay-per-view matches like that, I do like to do MVPs because someone who actually put on a hell of a show. Braun Strowman and Ember Moon are my MVPs of the men and women's Money in the Bank ladder matches. I'm getting out of here. I will be back for Monday Night Raw, where a lot of questions will be answered hopefully tomorrow, but knowing WWE, we'll probably have more questions than answers. But make sure to follow me on Twitter at TheFrance. Make sure to follow me on twitch.tv/TheFrance08. That's twitch.tv/TheFrance08, where I stream every single day. And then, of course, hit that subscribe button, comment down below, hit that bell for all notifications, and I will see you guys tomorrow for Monday Night Raw.